Good morning. Let's do sports now on the AM show with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullah, Asamoah Gyan, former Ghana captain. After 109 appearances, 51 goals for the senior national team, scored in 9 consecutive tournaments. The gentleman says he scored to quit in football, announcing his decision not to engage in the activity anymore. He said that he feels the time is right for him to hang his boots.
In echoing in my mind for the past a year and a half, sometimes people see me and they're like, have you retired? I was like, nope. I still think I have something to offer. But I've been contemplating on it, and I think I'll use this platform officially to tell everybody it's time.
No.
Hold on.
What?
Hold on.
What?
Are you?
Wait. I don't understand what I'm hearing.
Saying that he's coming for the African Cup of Nations in Ivory Coast. Then I'm coming out of retirement as well.
It's time to tell everybody I've officially retired from football. And very, very emotional, as he said. It's a very, very difficult moment. It's something that you love, something that you've
it's our dream.
Done since your childhood, and then living it at this moment. And I'm very happy. I'm very happy to use this platform. And it's official right now. All the journalists, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, those were your legends, and that was the final panel of the final day of this amazing conference. Amazing moments. I want to thank all of you.
Asamoah Gyan calling it quit in football, a sport he started somewhere 2002. That was when he came into the limelight, and all the way up to 2021 when he was playing for Legon Cities. Now let's take a look at some of the numbers of Asamoah Gyan. First player in history to score in 9 consecutive international tournaments, Africa's top scorer in the history of the World Cup, Ghana's all-time top scorer with 51 goals, most capped for Ghana, which is joined at the African Cup of Nations. And he's played 109 times for the senior national team. Second most apps in AFCON history for Ghana. First player in the history of Ghana to score in the FIFA World Cup in 2006. Asamoah Gyan's career has been one to remember. What a man he was on the pitch. The skill, the finishing, everything about him were just special. Gyan says, time now to concentrate on other things. And in his statement, retiring from football, he said that he wants to focus on developing players. He wants to be a coach. He wants to be a scout. He wants to contribute to the next generation of talents who wants to play football at the highest level. He also added that it's about time he threw his focus on the Baby Jet Under-16 tournament, which he started about 5 years ago. Now, let's head on and to the Bono region, where there was an event organized for some selected people within the footballing space to share their knowledge on what the pitfalls are for Ghana football. Well, Amini Shado, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Dreams FC and also the team manager of the Black Stars, says that it's about time government invests in infrastructure because he feels that without the necessary infrastructure, football in this country will not develop.
Imagine if the government is investing as much money into football infrastructure like the stadium. If we have a very good stadium where people go and enjoy themselves, people even go to stadium to take pictures because it's nice. I've always been at the forefront of championing the cause of we trying to push government to also invest into sports infrastructure. They should invest in sports infrastructure. The clubs themselves don't have the capacity. And that was what made English football what it is today. The England Premier League, at some point in time, they had more hooligans than here in Ghana. They have so many problems. But the state decided to invest. After the Hillsborough disaster, they decided to invest heavily into sports infrastructure. They invested heavily, put in the infrastructure and all that. They are making their money back tenfold through taxation. Every player that earns more than £50,000 in the UK is taxed 40%. That's how come they are so attractive today. The government went in there, put up the infrastructure with their resources, got out of it, let private investors take over, manage it, and they get their money back through taxation.
I mean, they're calling on government to invest in sporting infrastructure in the country. Now, let's hear from former FIFA referee, Mercy Tego, the first ever Ghanaian FIFA referee to officiate in a FIFA World Cup, which is the FIFA Women's World Cup Under 20 tournament, which happened in 2009. She says that the sport or activity she enjoyed doing the most was being a referee.
Refereeing was the best activity or the event that I really enjoyed it, trust me. Even though whether you like it or not, there will be hitches here and there, hula baloo here and there. But then I could sit on my seat and take about 4 or 5 hours to read the laws of the game. I loved it. And it was an act, you know. Just look at yourself before you put on the uniform, referee uniform. Every eye is looking at you as a referee. Make sure you know your stuff. You understand what you are doing. You need to interpret the laws of the game on the pitch. You are a judge. Within a split of a second, you need to take a decision. Remember, people have spent so much money to prepare their teams to play this game. And everybody is coming with a mentality of winning, winning, winning. So if you are not able to do things right, it will affect you as an individual. It's not about the referees association, it's you as an individual. Because you are going to, you are many, you'll be trained. But when it is your time to officiate, you are, even the assistants, nobody is looking at them. It's you in the middle. You are human. You need to make mistakes so that you will learn from the mistakes. But let your mistakes be very minimal and do things that people will appreciate. So I adapted a strategy. I make sure that I use the mirror a lot. I stand in the mirror. I make sure I dress properly. Dressing, there is something, even the security services. When you see a security personnel in a uniform, well dressed, how do you feel? You admire and appreciate the person so much. Even though he or she has not done anything, just dressed up and going to work. That is refereeing for you. When I dress and I look at myself in the mirror and say, yes, even when I make a mistake, it should be a new style. And that's exactly what I did. Yes, of course, you are human. No, it's not everybody who appreciates what you do. And it's normal, you need to accept it. But what I went there to learn, I said, I'm coming to implement it here, and it will work. Whenever I go to Kumasi Sports Stadium to officiate, I feel so comfortable, and I mean, I felt myself whenever I was officiating Kotoko match. They know how to play then, not now. Yeah. Then, please forgive me.
Oh yes, I understand. And everyone talks it. Everyone talks about it. How Kotoko were good those days, and yes. In fact, even as young as I was, I do recall watching Kotoko matches from say 2003 all the way till date. And that's how I became a Kotoko fan, actually. Yes. So they play some delectable football. Exactly. Not the current football that we watch.
Even the Latter-day Saints, the Harrison Afro,
Michael Akufu, yes, Samuel Nku.
That group, that Latter-day Saints. Oh my God. So, you know, I learned something from refereeing.
In Europe, there were UEFA Euro qualifiers. Cristiano Ronaldo scored in the 89th minute as Portugal defeated Iceland 1-0. 200 cap, then he scores to win for Portugal when they came up against Iceland in the qualifiers for Euro 2024. Now, we do some highlights from friendly matches that were played yesterday. And Senegal, they defeated Brazil 4-2. And then Germany, not a good time for the diamond shaft as they continue to fall. Many say their story is more of grace to grass because in recent times, Germany has been suffering defeats back to back to back. And this time around, it was against Colombia when they lost. It is now back-to-back defeats for Brazil against African nations. They suffered a 1-0 loss to Cameroon during the FIFA World Cup in Qatar. Now they have lost to Senegal. The story that African teams cannot beat Brazil is finally coming to an end. Maybe Ghana would also do that someday. This is our wrap-up AM Sports here with me, Muftau Nabila Abda. We appreciate your company.